Hey guys, welcome back to the next phase of the build, and we're going to go from where we're at now to this, the finished helmet. So this is probably in tutorial world what they will call the money shot. So we've got the main shell of the helmet, and we've got the front of the helmet, the visor section to finish. Then we're going to marry them two together permanently, well not permanently, but permanently as we want to do. So let's get on with this. Now this has already been weathered. By the magic of video we will show you that at some point, but I'm not overly interested in the weathering at the moment. What I'm interested in is getting this helmet finished. So let's do this. So we're going to put the visor in, which comes pre-cut like this, like a little bra. There she is, pre-cut to our helmet size. Why don't we just do a TikTok thing when I drop it and then it's in from behind like that?
Not 12-year-old girls.
Okay then. Right, so let's explain how we go from this to this. Basically we do what I just did. We're going to stick it in there. So I'm going to put it in there and I'm going to feel with my fingers. Just to get it centralised so that there's enough overlap everywhere we want it. I don't know if you could hear that, but it sounded like something driving past crazy. So I'm holding it up to the light to check that the lens material is covering the eyes evenly all the way around. You're not going to see it from there, and it looks great from there, but let's just double check. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Could probably go a bit higher actually. So over many years now I've discovered that this is the best way of attaching one of these visors. A lot of experience, time and effort has gone into learning this method that I've developed over many years. I don't do this. Jason has just been informing me how to do it so I can inform you how to do it, because Jason has been doing this for many years. So here we go. Let's glue it in. I'm going to mark it down the sides. We're only going to glue the two sides, similar to the face, when we attach that, if you remember. I'm going to use a bit of super glue. You could use, if you're not confident, you could use hot glue or other methods to achieve this same end result. I'm just showing you what I do as of about 10 minutes ago. For the first time. Let's see how easy this is, because I am doing this for the first time with you guys. Could you hear that car alarm on the headphones? That's all right. Can you see that, yeah, on the overhead? Excellent. Good stuff. So I'm just going up to the edge. Not over the edge, just up to the edge. Now this stuff does stick like the proverbial. Just double check, make sure I've not slipped in any way. Right, so that is fixed. I'm going to leave the tape on. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue around the edges. And what I'm doing is I'm allowing it to just find its way down the edge. It's just going to seep in, find that seal, give it a bond. And being careful not to get it on the top of the visor on the inside, otherwise it'll all run down. We don't want that. You don't want to go too far because you don't want it to run down the inside. Now, I don't know if I said this at the beginning, but there is a protective film on there. Do make sure you take it off on the inside before you start gluing it down, otherwise you're just going to glue the film to the face. Okay? Obviously I did take it off. I don't know if I showed that, but I've not got film on, and it is attached. That's it. The visor is in. Okay, next up I'm going to put the greeblie on the front. Okay, now you can just glue this, but I'm not the biggest fan of just gluing it. So we have a little screw here, tiny little one, if you can see that. It's very small, tiny little screw. And I'm going to use that to secure the snout in permanent. You don't want it falling off. You don't want to be looking surprised when you're out on a troop and your greeblies fell off.
It doesn't just show where you drill.
Okay, well I'll do that in a second. I purposely didn't show where I drilled because I forgot about showing where I drilled. So I'm just kind of lining this up to the bottom there. And if we change the angle, okay, you can see. So my greeblie is now in the place where I want it, and I'm just going to mark the hole there. Okay, I've gone a little bit high on that. It's going to be fine, but maybe go just a tiny bit lower. Let's have a look. I've not really got anything to measure it with. You want about a finger width across your bottom. Finger width. I'm a little bit high, but it's fine. It's not going to cause me any problems because I'm not going too deep. As long as I've got a nice thickness of resin. There you go. I would suggest that you go about 1/2 inch. I've gone a little bit above that, and I'm not sat bang in the middle of the greeblie. So if you go 1/2 inch, you're not going to have any problems. I'm just being a little bit risky, but it's paid off. Right, let's try and use the wrong screwdriver to screw this in because I've not got a Phillips to hand. That is now held in place and I'm very happy with it. Safe in the knowledge that it's not going to fall off unexpectedly. Can't beat a mechanical fix. Right, that's the front just about done. Now we're going to get the back finished off. We can make the two together, which is very simple, and that is the end of the process. Right, so the main shell of the helmet. We still need to apply the stickers and decals. We need to put our liner inside and we need to add our chin strap. That's the word. So first of all, you need to cut some slots in this. You will see a couple of little indents, so like 2 tiny little drill holes either side. Not drill holes, they're impressions. Let me see if you can see them on this side. Yeah, can you see that? And I'm just drawing a line. Whoop, not very well. Drawing a line between them. My God, look at that. And up here, because our elastic is going to pass through these. So I'm going to cut the slots now to allow the plastic to go through. Right, it's the same way we cut the slots that go into this chin strap. It felt a bit loose. So I've cut the majority of the slot out because the shape of the tool. I'm going to finish this off with a little needle file. So you're looking to make this the same width as the elastic. I'll give you a quick, like so. You don't really want your slot to be a lot longer. You can afford for it to be a little bit narrower because it's going to grip the elastic a little. But it's an inch, and that's what the shot should look like in the end. If you prefer, you can do this before you paint if you're a bit nervous, which I can fully understand. I just need to get my file going. See if I can feed it in there. Okay, I'm happy with that thickness. Let's get this one done. So the thickness of the needle file is about the thickness of the slot that you're looking for. Right, I'm happy with that. I'm going to drill the holes for the hard hat liner. Then we're going to have a little clean up. Then we're going to start adding all the components. So my hard hat liner, I'm going to drill a 4mm hole just here. So there is this indented section here, and we're going right there because this is a wider part of the helmet than if we did it back here. We don't want that. That's where we want the hole. Helmet's rolling away. It's rolling away. Right. I'll get my holes in. Like so. And one exactly the same on this side. Right, that is from the main shell, that is all the slits and holes, everything that we need to complete the build. So at this point I'm going to give it a clean out before I start attaching the tape into the back. Okay, so we're going to put black tape on the inside. Now this is a 30mm tape. I don't know what that is in inch and a quarter. And it's a black electrical harness tape, if you want to search it up. We don't put it in the kit because comes on a roll and we need to have a roll for every helmet, and then that means we always got to keep a massive stock of them, and then that's something that we probably won't have when it's absolutely required. So it's easier for us to recommend you get your own, or you can use another method. So I'm just taping a line of this on the inside here. So what we end up with is a black patch in the helmet, and the idea of that is when you look from down the front of the helmet, down these from the front, even when the wearer is wearing the helmet, you can see that black patch. And that's it. As I said, you can use a multitude of other things. You could use some thin EVA foam. You could just paint it. You could paint the whole helmet interior black. But this is what was on, well, this is what came on the original production made helmet that we bought. So we just go with this. I'm thinking I would use a scalpel for this, but I can't find the scalpel. I'm not sure where I've put it. So I'm just using a Stanley knife, which really needs its blade changing. Watch out for the curvature of the helmet, throwing it off so you end up with a white patch in the middle. You don't want that, and that's it. I've just had my scalpel. I've literally been using it here. Tied it up. Can't locate it. Yeah, I found it. Okay, so we've now got black inside our ears. And it's literally just the inside of the helmet. Right, let's get this hard hat liner screwed in there. So I'm just going to drill a 4mm hole right in the front corner here. Be careful of your fingers. So here is our hole, and we're going to have a rivet going through there. Okay, that's what it's going to look like on the inside of the helmet. Now, we usually do this. There are these little reinforcement triangles here on the arm which connects it to the actual headband. You can leave them in, however, it becomes quite a pinch point in the helmet. So we usually just remove those. Like so. Can you see that? So this has still got the corner in there, and here it is removed. And when I remove the one out the front, it's going to give this a little bit more play. It just allows it to sit a little bit more comfortably on the head. There we go. So that's the difference there. This side removed, this side with them still there. It just allows it to flex a little bit easier. Makes it a little bit more comfortable, especially if you've been wearing it for a while. And you're probably going to want to wear it for a while when you get this made, because why wouldn't you? very soft, this plastic. Super easy to cut this out. Lovely. So the rivet's going through, going into the liner, passing through the liner, washer on the back. Not sure if you're going to see it. It's very complicated what's going on in here, really, for what it is. So there's a liner, a rivet, and a washer. So I'm holding the washer in place and I'm using the rivet gun. Once the rivet starts to get a grip, I won't need to hold the washer anymore. Okay, that's now held on the one side. That's about where it's going to sit. So again, I'm going to put the washer in there. You can see the washer down there. Slip this hard hat liner over it. All right, sorry. So the rivet, there's the rivet in place through our hole. Hard hat liner is pushed over the rivet through the hole that we drilled. Washer on the end. And we'll close that rivet. There is some adjustment in this. I'm just going to close that a little on the headband. That's kind of what we've got now. That's where we're at. You can see that. We've got the liner installed. I can make that a little bigger. That's just the default setting it comes with. You're probably going to want to open that up to something like that, but as big as it will go within the confines of the helmet. Okay. Right, let's add the chin strap and we're done. So again, front of the chin strap. This is the front. I'm going to put that in the right way, otherwise it's going to be pretty funny. So I'm feeding this in through the two top slots, or out I should say. So the beginning of the chin strap, or the chin strap begins inside, comes out of these two slots, the higher level, and then goes back in at the lower level. Like so. Exits the helmet up here, enters down the bottom. And this is the bit that we're going to glue. So I'm literally putting it onto the elastic directly. Close that up. That frayed edge there, I'm just getting that with a little bit of the little bit of plastic burr there to come off. Just going to put a little bit of elastic, super glue on there just to tidy up that frayed edge a little bit. Just there. Nice. Okay. Exact same the other side. What about the other angle? Will that get it? Don't need to go crazy with the glue. And again, that frayed edge, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on there just to help hold it down. If you've got anything like a spreader to hand, you can use that. I have prop maker's fingers, which are always glued up. Get my reserve activator out. And that is the chin strap. That is our chin strap in place. Oh, okay. I'll show you when warm because this is the this is just perfection, isn't it? So when you're putting your helmet on, you may want to get you, if you go to the overhead there, I get my fingers inside, pull the chin strap down and forwards to clear it, and then I give that a little bit of a flex. These two mandibles. I remove that without the chin strap flicking up right into my nose. Right, let's attach the fixings to hold these two pieces together. So if you've got a nice snug fit, with your bolt, it will just sit in there. And now I have to really feel my way to find the thread, but eventually you will find it. There's the hard hat liner in there. You kind of go behind it. You'll work it out. It's not difficult. It's just not straightforward as finding the thread. Nice satisfying click. So I'm going to have to go in right-handed. Don't be overly concerned about that hard hat liner that's in there. You can move it out of your way quite easily. I'm just working that onto the thread now using this like a ratchet. There we go, happy with that. Clicking that hard hat liner back into place on the top adjustment. And that is basically our finished helmet. Everything is now installed. Oh, no it's not. No it's not. I need to do the decals, don't I? Right, so I'm going to apply the decal on the back first of all. So our decal is going to want to sit about here. So we want it kind of here and level with the top of this. So I'm going to put something here as an aid. The best thing you've got for doing this is your eyes. That's kind of where I want it. And if you can see that, there's a lot of light colours going on. But here's my masking tape guide. So we need to remove each individual black line onto the application tape. Please do comment below if you've ever had one of these and you took each black line off individually and placed it on there. I'm just trying to free it from its backing paper. Once you get it started, it's not too bad, but the key is getting it started, getting it to lift. I'm sure when this stuff was invented, the first time it was used, the guy was like, yeah, and then you just pull this off and away you go. Just talk amongst yourselves. Right, I've removed them off now. This one here's gone a little bit cockeyed. I'm just gonna coax it back to where I want it. I'm trying not to touch them because the adhesive side is up on the thing that we want to stick down. Okay, just make sure they're pretty flat on there. You don't want any lumps and bumps. We've got one there, but I think we'll get away with it. Okay, you ready? Just gently rub that bad boy off. Probably not my best expression. Right, so the lines are on the helmet and off the backing paper, the application paper, as I believe it's called. So now I'm just going to give them a proper rub to the helmet. If you found something amusing in what I just said, that is on you. It is not on me. Right. Shall we do these while we're here? Okay. So if you've ever had an Airfix model kit, you're going to know exactly what's going on here. We're going to have these sit in some warm water so they release from the backing paper, and then we are going to slide them into place on the helmet. Okay, it's probably going to be the easiest thing we've ever done. To apply our Waterslide decals, I have some hot water. This is straight from the tap, it's not boiling water, it's just hot tap water. So I'm just going to put our decal in there. We want to leave it in there about 15 seconds. I'm just going to leave that to soak. Okay, I'm just letting those soak a little bit, let them accept that water. Don't know if you can see that, but it's starting to get a bit slidey. So I'm putting it into position, roughly where I want it, and bringing it off the paper. Oh my God. It's a bit wrinkly. Right, that's the first one on, and I'm happy with that. Let's get the second one on. It's wrinkly. We've not got any folds though. Alright, get plenty of water on there. That's lovely. Right, we'll just blot that with a paper towel. Right, I'm going to let that dry naturally. Right, while that's drying, I'll wet out the front ones. So just leave them in the water about 15 seconds. Then give them a bit of time for that to really take. A couple of minutes. Sat here on the bench. All the while the back of the helmet is drying out. This is not a job to rush. A few minutes now, you can appreciate them for the lifetime of your helmet. Okay, this one is definitely one you need to eyeball. Don't measure this because this is Star Wars we're talking about, and these helmets, even this one, is not symmetrical. Can you see that? Okay, the last one, which is going to go here, and it's going to be about level with there, and then squared off. Let's try it. Okay, now it's on, it's off the backing paper, we can square that up. They're funny little things because it looks like it isn't moving and all of a sudden it will move so freely and take you by surprise. Just fingering it into place. So, right, I'm pretty happy with that. I don't want to overdo it. And again, I think it's definitely worth saying, this is how they were done 40 plus years ago. They're not applied by robots, all uniquely uniform. They were hand applied, and that means variation. Okay, so it's about this time, when you've applied all of your water slides, that you go back to look at your amazing work and you find that all the other ones have all wrinkled and been totally destroyed while you've been handling it. So let's hope we're good. And that is our complete helmet. Now, you may want to give those decals a little tweak with the weathering, a toothbrush or a fine mist, however you want. Aesthetically, this is now in the realms of your personal choice. But that is how you build a Scout Trooper helmet. I thank you.
Hi guys, right, so today after you've seen Rob building the helmet and that, we're going to show you how to do, well at least I'm going to show you how I do my technique of weathering. Pretty much there's two schools of thought on this, because there's some which, if you look at the film, they're just literally sprayed with a dash here and there. But if you look at some of the close-up shots that are on Star Wars helmets, you'll see that a lot of those have been rubbed away and little marks done here and there, and just made it, just gone in that little bit more. And that's pretty much the one that I do. So I'll show you how basically we go from this, yeah, to sort of to this. Sorry, I got my big donkey strangling hands are just in the way. So generally what I use is start with kind of spray paint, satin black, matte black. It's going to get rubbed down anyway, so it doesn't necessarily have to be, it just has to be black, of a sort. Then we've got gloss grey number 5, always a handy paint to have in any Star Wars kit for painting. I think it goes on pretty much everything. I like my rigger brushes. They're good for making fine lines, little marks here and there, but I'll get into that later. Also cotton buds, white spirit, and some really fine wire wool. Now, a lot of people use Scotch pads and stuff like that, but I think it tends to dull the paint, whereas the wire wool, if you get the finest one, it's like 000, that will almost give it a sheen even over the weathering. Right, so she's going to show you the first part. So that I would say is the first stage. Okay. Yeah. There, at the top there. Right. So you do actually see a lot of helmets in Star Wars like this, where it's just a quick blast, sort of round the eye here, over the top, and especially on the. I think it's supposed to be a filter system on the back. Sorry, there. Yep. So you do see quite a lot of them with that. But if you look at the ones on Star Wars helmets where they've got a lot of close-ups, and it tends to be one of our most popular styles of helmet, we do get to a stage now that we need to rub it down and sort of just make it a bit more subtle as far as the overall finish is concerned. And then we just go in with a little bit of detail here and there. So. Now, I've literally just sprayed this, but if you're leaving it through any sort of time, let's say half an hour or so, or you're going to come back to it, if you're finding it struggling to get it off, just a little bit of white spirit in with your wire wool, and that will just take off a little bit more if that's how you like it. I can get a cloth. Grab Bill, fetch your cloth. Yeah. Because when you don't want to look. So I like it to look grubby and not overly painted. So you can see the sort of two differences there. Gonna bring it in there, Clarky. So you got sort of two differences of just the painted on its own, and then that sort of worn, I say just a worn, a bit more subtle look like that. So. And again, just knocking it back a little just makes it, not look like it's just been sprayed. It looks more like wear and tear and proper weathering, I suppose. And it is, after all, a white helmet and not a grey one. We tend to also spray it a lot from the front, so you're catching these areas more than anything. And again, if you look at the ones on Star Wars helmets, those are the areas that are where the darkest parts are. These are much cleaner, but then again, it's also very hard to try and show weathering up in photographs. Always as well with your wire wool, if you're rubbing anything down like this, because I mean it's a biker scout helmet, so you can imagine it's all brushed past them, so try and keep an up and down motion so it's as if it's been, something's hit it or something's brushed past it, but just caught it. Okay, so if you ever want to follow anything like sort of the ones on Star Wars helmets, and you want to do it, I suppose, as accurately as you can with stuff like that. I mean, I'm doing these all the time, so it's sort of muscle memory with me. But if you just want to have a go, I mean, there's no reason why I can't go in with a pencil and just mark some of these areas yourself and just go, all right, well, I want to put that there. It looks like a little bit of a crack, and that little scruff mark there, and just, it's easier than rubbing the paint on and off anyway all the time. But that's what these are for. Now. So again, with most of it, it's sort of round the edge. It's your edges are your parts where they're obviously going to get the most impact if it was a real helmet. So, and again, using the gloss grey number 5 like we do on the TKs and all the others, with it being such a small amount, it doesn't matter the fact that it's glossy. It's just the right sort of tone of grey, I think, and it sort of matches the decals and everything else. And certainly one of the ones on Star Wars helmets where you can see it's been scuffed and that, it sort of matches the primer that's showing from the underneath. But if you were to go in and mask everything, one, it would take you a lot longer, and two, I think sometimes it's a little bit unnecessary. You can just make the same sort of marks on the top of the helmet, topographically painting, and that's why I tend to use these fine rigger brushes. So again, sort of from memory, we have a sort of little mark there. So this is where we got to get a bit Bob Ross on it now. So we got, a little shrub there, a little mark there. So, and again, if you want to just make these any line or anything like that, I tend to use these mic tips on the brain. These Q-tips or cotton buds, the pointed ones, and just to make like a fine line. I'll make that line finer than what I can on the brush. And again, it's just sort of a few marks like that from what I remember of the one on Star Wars helmets. And there's a lot of so around here there's like tiny little bits of damage. Again, if you feel like you've gone on too much with a brush.
Can't bring this to the centre of the frame, shall I?
Sorry.
Can you fit it?
There, yeah. Again, so there's like, I need my glasses for this point. Just making little marks. They're just little impact marks really. Where you'd have sort of wear and tear of anything like that. And if you try and follow the detail as much as possible, I know sometimes it can be a bit laborious and you just want to throw paint at it, but it's much more satisfying seeing the finish at the end of it when it has that completed look. And any sort of little marks like that. If we're not sure, a little bit of white spirit. The white spirit won't actually affect the white paint underneath. So because we're going on with an enamel over the car paint, it won't react. And we're just putting little impact marks here and there. You just sort of build it up. So that's the sort of on the sort of faceplate. That's pretty much what I do for that. When it comes to coming up here on the top of the helmet, there tends to be almost like a crust that sort of runs along the top here. So again, we're just putting little marks in. If you think it's too much, just wipe it away. You literally need as much to soak in the cotton bud. You don't need it like excessive. Just have it so it's damp, give it a quick wipe. And again, you'll notice on the ones from Star Wars helmets that they'll have like almost like dash marks where something's hit it or crossed over it, something like that. So again, very, very little on the brush at all. And there we have. Just up alongside it like that. Like that. Again, if you don't like it, you can wipe it away. Just put a couple of little ones here and there. And again, because it's such a fine brush, you're able to make these marks. Because that's what you're doing, you're just making marks. It's not like it's an oil painting or anything like that, so. Again, something like this. That's been sat there for a while, so a bit of white wool with some white spirit, just to knock it back. And again, it's sort of on the top. There's not a lot of detail or marks around this area. It's mainly around the sides and the back, and obviously the face. We just a couple of marks here and there. Again, sort of following the direction of as he would be sat on the Scout itself. Now there's one mark that sort of follows from on the front of that one to this one. So what I do is I always tend to do this one first. Just bring that. I mean, there's nothing to say, you know, you can't do your own. You don't have to specifically follow that one that's on Star Wars helmets, you can do them all. But if they all sort of follow the same sort of technique. So you can see there's the impact mark is on here, from there, and it's transferred over to there. And again, you'll find that there's marks around the edges, like that, and you want to match those areas together, and those two areas together. It doesn't matter so much here, but this again, it all gets rubbed down. So again, going in with a white spirit because it's gone a bit heavy there. We've got a few spots. And again, knocking it back with a wire wool, especially over the black, does tend to make it look less like paint and more like weathering. Yeah. Also, I find as well is because you've got quite a lot of these edges on the helmet itself. You've got this one here, got this one round here, down here. You know, they're going to be places where it's pretty clean, but in there it's going to be quite dirty. So these are areas you can always add. You can always add or subtract from this just with some wire wool and some white spirit. So yeah, again, we want to try and get those closer together. See that, yeah? So you've still got little pitting marks and little bits where you can see the dark paint is still there. And then that'll sort of now match those two areas. Always nice to have, I think, to have a nice bit of dirt in that area there, because it's where it's going to get trapped, because the helmet's coming up and down all the time. And again, you sort of work out where marks would be. And wear marks as well, where see how sort of wear around here. So points of wear. Again, like on the faceplate. So it's similar to what we've done. Similar to what we've done here with like sort of marks up here. And again, we just sort of, you don't want to be too uniform, you know, your spacing. It's just dab it with your finger if it's, you want to sort of knock it back as well. There's no set pattern to to any of this is, I mean, obviously that I'm trying to sort of from memory, because normally I have my computer sat in front of me and I try and copy that one as religiously as possible. You know, we get requests all the time for different, you know, different styles. Nothing too adventurous though. And as well, we obviously don't try and leave the seam in, but you do see a lot of them that's still got the seam in where the paint or the glue or whatever is sort of settled in between the plastic, and it's still left a mark even with the paint settling on it. So we sometimes try and put that in. Just to knock it back just a little, so just give me the suggestion of it. And again, there is that sort of line that follows through. Hold it there. Obviously I'm trying to do this a lot quicker because we're filming. Again, just even with your thumb there, just to almost like smudge it, but then you can just go back over it again and create a finer line. It gives it depth, I think, as well in those areas. Again, just matching those through. Now you'll notice there's no decals on this, because if I was to put the decals on it before weathering it, you just end up rubbing the decals off. So what we tend to do is do this bit first, and then we'll put the decals on, and then just give it decals, just a gentle bit of weathering just over the top of that. So that's essentially the Scout helmet weathered. Obviously the start of this is because it's such a white helmet, we're trying to quickly add as the weathering, as you do see it in a lot of the helmets on the film. So to get the compromise between the two, I like to just spray it first, give it all a good coverage of just like it's almost like overspray on the whole thing. And then from that, go in with the wire wool, and then start to find your highlighted and your low lighted areas. There we have the Scout helmet. Please comment below if there's any questions you might have. I will be checking it to see if you have any questions. If I've not covered anything, do apologise. Let us know if there's any other helmets you'd like seen weathered, or weathering techniques, painting techniques. We'll always oblige.